How critical is leadership in sort of driving and managing the data strategy?
Yeah, it's absolutely critical, right? I think, but with leadership, I think you have to differentiate into different types of leadership. I think we're all used to people leadership and project leadership, right? So you hierarchically are managing people, so you are their leader, right? And you sometimes are a project manager or project leader, and you just make sure that project actually strives to success. But I feel like what is a little bit less addressed is change leadership and thought leadership, which I think are beyond those other two, right? And with change leadership, I mean that really the leadership is also there to make sure that the change is embedded in the right way and that it's seen as a journey, that you make sure that we are not changing too quickly, but that we are changing one individual at a time to make them advocates one at a time, and
Mm.
really address their personal fears or personal resistance reasons to then basically turn them and convert them into believers, so to say, one after another. And with thought leadership, that's the missing piece to it too, right? Where if you can basically use also your expertise and your public speaking skills as a leader, for example, to actually inspire people to see beyond what they're seeing in the day, to look at the bigger picture, or to look at what others in the industry are doing, or look at market trends, for example, then maybe more and more information can actually lead to people seeing the bigger piece of the puzzle and seeing the bigger picture as well on their own, driving them again to become more advocates. So in a
Mhm.
way, I feel like it's more about differentiating and redefining what leadership actually means, and that it's more than just the hierarchical and the project success tactical leadership that we all know about. It's more than that, and it's also more about convincing and influencing and empathizing with people.
Yeah, so you've got to get that engagement across the whole team because you want, if everyone's on board, you're going to make changes, aren't you? Like
Exactly.
if they've got one, like, or you got to say 60-40, it's going
Mm,
to be a bit of a headache, isn't it, for the leadership? For probably a lot more meetings,
exactly.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So why do you think then businesses just, when they change this, they do too much at once? That's where the most like the hesitancy comes from, or do you think it's just obviously it depends on the project?
Yeah, I wouldn't say probably too much at once. It's more about acknowledging that it takes time to change. I think, at least from what I learned about change management, is that like next to the old world, let's say, and the new world, in between you have a long period called the neutral zone, right? Where actually
Mm.
the old hasn't finished yet and the new hasn't completely started yet, but all of it is a little bit in transition. And I feel like a lot of people and leaders, they underestimate that transition phase because that takes time because of the people aspect. Shutting down a system and migrating it onto the new one and then starting that new one, that's great. That's technical, and you can
Mhm.
set up dates, but everything in between, for people to actually adjust to the new system, to be able to directly use it, for example, that takes time. Yeah, you need to train them, you need to convince them that it's the new system is better, you need to show them the new things that they can do with the new system, etc., just for example. And all that takes time until you can actually confidently say we're going to shut down the old one and only use the new one from now on. So all of that now on bigger scale means there's even more work to do to actually make people be
Yeah,
part of the change journey. So I don't think it's too much at once often, because often you don't have a choice to make it less. You have to just do it in one go, but you need to just do it slower and give yourself the freedom and the flexibility to do it in a speed that allows the organization to adjust to it.
yeah.